Coming to green, and they're already going 3 wide into corner number 1. Richard Hadler's going to make a sharp move to the inside, and he'll escape that 3 wide battle, which is now a battle for second. The 77 dropping back through the field as the Cuse number 7 machine works underneath championship contender Trevor DeBoer, who just had a bit of a close call there. DeBoer needs a lot of help tonight. He'd have to win the race, and Tyler LaFontaine would have to not make the feature unofficially for Trevor DeBoer to take the title in the 4 cylinders. Right now, though, it's Richard Hadler out front pacing this field.
2 laps in, coming up on 2 laps in. Richard Hadler with the early advantage. Good ride from him so far. Syracuse to the number 7B out there in the 2nd spot. Just about side by side for that 3rd spot between the 23 of Trevor DeBoer as well as the number 5 of Brian Obey, who started out in 6th. He is now in the mix into the top 3. Coming up on halfway through heat number 1, Richard Hadler with a good ride out there so far as the leader.
Hadler really driving away from the field right now, riding comfortably up at the front in that 60 ride. Then it's Syracuse over Trevor DeBoer. Brian Obey trying to make his way inside the top 3. And the 5K of Kenny Hare, last week's winner in the Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the lane 4 cylinders, as we got more tight race in there between DeBoer and Obey. That's going to allow Hare to have a look to the outside going through corners 1 and 2.
4 down, 2 to go. Richard Hadler, really good look out there so far. And Syracuse looking good out there so far in the 2nd spot. Trevor DeBoer out there in 3rd. Actually not too far away from Sierra for that 2nd spot. White flag in the air for the last lap. It is Richard Hadler, your leader.
Last time down the front stretch, Hadler dipped it into the moat just a little bit, and that definitely slowed his pace at the front, but he still rides comfortably out in front of Syracuse right now. Cuse trying to avoid Hare sweeping that spot. Hadler's going to win heat number 1. Cuse will grab 2nd over Hare, DeBoer, and Obey. Green flag in the air. Austin Worcester all over the back bumper of Randy Allway, pushing him off into the sunshine of turn number 2 as they work through the shaded part now. Down the back straightaway, Allway, Anderson, Worstro, Duga, and Rothwell, your top 5. Deagle trying to make a move to the inside to break inside the top 5. Meanwhile, Anderson's having a look to the lead.
Randy Allway out there in front so far. However, the number 4 of Mason Anderson is right there with him. Number 71 of Austin Worstro, close by in that 3rd spot. Almost anybody's came for that 4th spot, which is currently being occupied by Hannah Rothwell. Dustin Duga close by there in 5th. 2 laps in to heat number 2, and it's side by side, almost a 3-wide battle for the lead.
Austin Worstro bailed out on that one smartly, except he's getting a little bit of run over at the back now as Hannah Rothwell got a piece of him through 1 and 2. Now up at the front, it's still Allway and Anderson battling for the lead. Anderson trying to chase down Allway. Allway out front. Allway's going to get turned in front of the field. That could have been a lot bigger as Duga barely got contact. Looks like Allway's going to keep it rolling, and we should be able to stay green here. Give a call to Randy Allway being able to keep it in gear and get it going again. Anderson out front, then it's Hannah Rothwell, Austin Worstro, and the 19 of Kyle Rothwell starting to mix it up inside the top 4 here as well.
4 down, 2 to go. Number 4, Mason Anderson out there in front. However, there's about 3 cars looking for that lead as well. Hannah Rothwell out there in 2nd. 71 of Worstro out there in 3rd. However, the number 19 of Kyle Rothwell, who started out at the very back of the pack, he's making a big move, going on to that outside line to try to catch the lead. And actually, he's going to catch Rothwell for that 2nd spot. 1 lap to go.
Oh, that got close between Hannah and Kyle. The 2 Rothwells almost come together in corners number 1 and 2 as Hannah was trying to work the inside line. Her dad Kyle goes to the outside. Now he'll cross underneath the 4 of Anderson, coming to the stripe, and Kyle Rothwell steals the heat on the final corner. Wins it over Anderson, Hannah Rothwell, Austin Worstro. Coming to the green here. If Toddy making a move to the lead early. Kelly also moving up from the inside of row number 2 to try to take the second spot. LaFonzi doing battle there on the outside of Kelly as they work down the back straightaway. Winiger in the 34. Good to see him back out. If Toddy's going to lead lap number 1 over LaFonzi, Kelly, and Pagnotta.
One lap in. If Toddy out in front. Tyler LaFonzi out there in second. Almost a 2-car battle there for that lead. And as I just said that, Vincent Pagnotta trying to make a big move there in turn 4 to try to catch LaFonzi. Didn't quite work out the way he was hoping for. And he's moving back there into third. Actually, the third actually there. 2 laps in, it is If Toddy out in front, followed by Tyler LaFonzi.
Tyler LaFonzi, all he has to do is start the feature, and that should wrap up the title in the 4 cylinders. Don't tell him that, as he's carefully trying to tiptoe his way to the front, trying to stay off the back of the If Toddy machine, keep that 96 clean to get to the feature. Works to the outside, though, wants to challenge for the lead here. 3 wide for the lead through 3 and 4. Pagnotta's going to put If Toddy into LaFonzi. Good tight battle there. That could have got real ugly, but everybody keeps it clean and green into corners 1 and 2. LaFonzi on the outside of Pagnotta. Pagnotta drag racing down the back straightaway. He's going to drop in behind LaFonzi. He'll work to the inside. Go for the slide job up in front of LaFonzi. He's going to make it work. LaFonzi crosses him over. Tight racing here with 1 lap to go. White flag is in the air, and this one's far from over. LaFonzi and Pagnotta still going at it side by side. On the inside of 3 and 4, coming to the checkers. LaFonzi down low, Pagnotta up high. 13 versus 96. Who gets it at the stripe? It's Pagnotta. Vincent Pagnotta wins it over Tyler LaFonzi. Cornish and Slider lead him into corner 1. Dylan Slider in the one on the outside, going around the 291 of Cornish. Down the back straightaway, look at Josh Slider already up to 3rd. One car that didn't make it to the show is the 8 of Gavin Hill. Leroy Buscombe in the 88 dropped to the back of the pack. One wild ride there for the 23 of May. He's going to be able to keep it going. Slider will lead lap 1.
Good ride from Dylan Slider so far. Started out in the 4th spot. He is now into that 1st spot. However, the number 17 car of Slider, who started out in the back of the pack, has now moved his way on up into the lead. Number 27 of Sean If Toddy is there into 3rd. Started to break away from the pack a little bit. 2 laps in, it is Slider your leader.
Josh Slider out in front over Dylan Slider. Josh 24 points back of championship leader Brent Bigelow. Another driver is going to need a little bit of help if he wants to wrap up a track championship. As it, like I say, he trails the leader Brent Bigelow by 24 points heading into tonight. Bigelow will be in heat number 2. Slider continues to lead. If Toddy trying to move his way up into 2nd, wasn't able to make the move work underneath Slider this time, but down the back straightaway he'll clear.
Josh Slider coming up on the last lap there. Last lap of this race. Josh Slider, a good ride from him so far. Pretty much blew himself away from this pack as he's got about a full straightaway lead. And the number 27 of Sean If Toddy there in 2nd, and the number 1 of Dylan Slider out there in 3rd. Checkered flag in the air. Very impressive run from the number 17 of Josh Slider as he takes the win in heat number 1. Sean If Toddy ended up finishing in 2nd, Dylan Slider 3rd, RJ Pitts finished in 4th, and Leroy Buscombe in the number 88 rounds out the top 5.
Riley Slider and Chris Watson out in front of this one on the front row. Green flag in the air, they race into the setting sun. Watson around the outside in the 07 winger. Down low, trying to work over Ryan Anderson, who settles in line there as we've got mostly single file racing. Now Anderson trying to go for the lead around the outside of Watson through 3 and 4 down the front stretch. puts the power down on the outside, give the lead to the 44 of Anderson.
Big start from Anderson so far. Started out into that 5th spot and is now breaking away from the pack. Great ride from him so far. Number 77 of Chris Watson out there in 2nd. And right beside him there is that number 4 of Tyler Winger. He's going to move on to that outside line to catch him for 2nd. Bigelow up there into 4th. 2 laps in. Good ride from the number 44 of Ryan Anderson. He is in the lead. Winger is now up there into 2nd, and Brent Bigelow getting himself into the mix, getting himself onto that outside line. He's going to stay 3rd spot. Halfway through, it is Ryan Anderson, your leader.
Out in front is Anderson, then it's Winger, then championship point leader Brent Bigelow. Comes into tonight with a 24-point advantage. That's going to be a lot for Josh Slater to try to make up in one night here. Brent's just got to keep it clean and keep it up towards the front, and he should lock up the championship tonight. Currently still working over Winger for 3rd. As the white flag waves on the field, Ryan Anderson out front over Winger, Bigelow, Meisner, and Watson. That is the top 5. Really starting to stretch things out here. Into 3 and 4 for the final time in heat number 2 of the Rona Deutsch Mod Lights. At corner number 4, give a call to Ryan Anderson, who grabs the checkers in this heat over Winger, Bigelow, Meisner, Watson. Green flag in the air, and it's Bleach leading him into corner number 1. Fontaine trying to drive around the outside of Bean. He'll take 2nd spot. Into 3 and 4, it's Bleach, Fontaine. Then tight racing there between Haynes, Bean, and the 25 of Sargent, who's trying to mix his way up inside. Had a top 3 finish last night at Oshwegan. Bleach leads lap 1.
Good ride from Zach Bleach so far in the lead. Pushing his way out over Jason Fontaine just that much there. Actually, Fontaine and Bleach separating themselves from the pack just a bit. Number 25 of Travis Whittle is out there in the mix. He is there in 4th. Number 22 of Kyle Haynes out there in 3rd. 2 laps into heat number 1 of the Hoosier Stocks. Zach Bleach is your early leader.
Bleach is out front, then it's Fontaine, Sargent, Haynes, and Bean. Down the back straightaway. Bleach. Fontaine trying to close in. Looks to the inside through 3 and 4. Not able to make any ground up just yet. Halfway at the stripe, and still Fontaine trying to push Bleach. They're really driving away from Sargent now, opening up a big gap over 3rd place. Front 2 cars out in front of this one.
Coming up on past the halfway mark here of heat number 1, coming up on 5 laps in, 3 laps to go. Zach Bleach still holding on strong into the lead. Jason Fontaine not too far behind him, just about over a half a second. The number 25 of Ken Sargent now there into 3rd. And the 22 of Kyle Haynes there in 4th. The 37J of Jeff Bean, who started out at the front of the pack, is now there into 5th. 2 laps to go here in heat number 1. Good ride from Zach Bleach so far. He is your leader.
Out in front, still it's Bleach, then Fontaine, then Sargent. Haynes running 4th. Lap car there. Cars continuing to work underneath. It's Zach Bleach, then Fontaine, and still Sargent pacing in 3rd as the checkers begin to wave. Zach Bleach brings it home over Fontaine, Sargent, Haynes, and Bean. Getting ready to come back to green here. Wirt, Teeple on the front row. Fawcett already looking to make it 3 wide, thinks better of it into corner number 1. Wirt slides up the racetrack. Teeple still working to the outside in the 11 car. Now it's going to be Want out front. Then it's Shaw, Teeple, Lampman, and Fawcett, still your top 5, are all driving away.
One lap in, Trevor Watt with the early advantage. However, it's a pretty competitive battle out there so far. The number 96 car of Steve Shaw, who started out in the back of the pack, made himself a pretty big move there. He is now into second. Go Fast Teeple there in the third. And the 28D of Donnie Lampman is there in the mix as well. Almost, and also Mark Fawcett there on the trail of Lampman. Coming up on 3 laps in. Pretty competitive battles going on here in heat number 2. So far it is Trevor Watt who is out in front, followed by the 96 of Steve Shaw Sr.
Watt, Shaw, Teeple, Fawcett, Lampman. Watt's gonna slide up the racetrack, trying to hang on to it. Trouble for the Watt 19 machine. That is a flat right front. That's going to be very hard to turn the race car when it's down like that. It looks like he's going to be able to keep it rolling and should be able to get to the pits, though. Shaw out front, Teeple, Lampman, and Fawcett. Shaw continues to lead. Then it's Teeple, Fawcett, and Lampman. Front 4 cars really breaking away.
Two laps to go. The 96 car of Steve Shaw, the Merlin Magician, out there in front trying to break away. Almost got a half straightaway lead there over Go Fast Teeple. Side by side there between Donnie Lampman and Mark Fawcett for that third spot. And it's 3 wide for that second spot now. And a little sideways there from Fawcett. But it is Shaw still out in front.
Lampman is in a sandwich. That is a orange sandwich too. And all 3 cars orange. Easy to mix those ones up. Fawcett down low. Lampman now settles in behind Fawcett. Everybody chasing Shaw, who's going to win it. Shaw, Fawcett, Teeple, Lampman. Green flag in the air. It's Couture and Donnie Lampman, Jim Lampman, Pelrine, Sheehan, and Bailey. Jim Lampman, John Couture still out in front. Sheehan trying to take that second spot on the outside. He's actually going to surrender that spot and now maybe even give up third as Pelrine works by on the inside.
Jim Lampman there with the early advantage. That number 0 bat rod of John Couture holding on to the second there side by side for that third spot with the 47X of Kyle Pelrine, as well as that which one would that be? The number 2 car of Brad Sheehan. He's right side by side with him. Dave Bailey out there in fourth in the number 49 car. 2 laps in, 6 to go here. It is Jim Lampman beginning to break away from the pack just a little bit there, but a pretty competitive battle with the back of the pack for those other spots.
Still up front is Jim Lampman, then it's Couture. Bailey kind of mired there in traffic. He's trying to work the bottom side underneath Pelrine and Sheehan. That's not been able to work so far. Through 3 and 4, Sheehan's going to slide up the racetrack. More contact as Couture bounces off Pelrine. And now that has really changed the complexion of this race up at the front. Jim Lampman still leads. Now Pelrine second. Bailey up to third. Then it's Todd Shaw running fourth now. Sheehan's back up to fifth, but might have some damage on that right rear tire. Looks like it's up still. Excuse me, the left rear, I believe, is the one that might have taken some damage on that hit. Definitely some cosmetic damage behind it, but it doesn't look like it's rubbing, so it should be okay and get him to the end of the race. Now battles on for second. Bailey trying to take it on the inside underneath Kyle Pelrine. Coming to 2 to go.
6 laps down, 2 to go. Jim Lampman holding on strong into the lead, side by side between Kyle Pelrine and Dave Bailey for that second spot. Currently now being occupied by Kyle Pelrine, but not by that much. Dave Bailey right there on his trail, and the number 96 car, 96T of Todd Shaw, I believe that was. He is now into that 4th spot, white flag in the air. Jim Lampman holding on to the lead, a good ride from him.
Jim Lampman out on a Saturday night cruise, trying to come home to another heat win. Bailey He's going to clear Pelrine for second. Pelrine's going to try the crossover. Lampman wins. Then it's Bailey, Pelrine, Shaw, and Sheehan. Good race there to the end. Green flag in the air, underway. The Sportsman back at Merrittville tonight after having the week off last weekend, and it's Jeff Penante out to an early advantage over Mateo Penante. It's Penante and Penante up front. Leslie riding third there, under fire from the 2K of Rob Knapp. Through 1 and 2 once again, everybody chasing Jeff Penante.
Jeff Penante out there in front. Coming up on 2 laps into this heat number 1 of the Sportsman. 15 roll, a little bit of sideways there from Rob Knapp there, the number 2K trying to use that outside line. And he is there in that 3rd spot. The number 15 of Adam Leslie is now trying to go to that inside line to try to make a big move there. It didn't quite work out as he was hoping for. However, he is still committed to that line. And it's about a 3-car battle for the lead now. And Rob Knapp just took over the lead 3 laps in.
Front 2 cars got battling, and that played right into the hands of Rob Knapp and the 2K, who drove around the outside and said, see you later, boys. He's driving away with the advantage out front over Adam Leslie, who has 2nd place by a nose at the stripe. Penante now falling back behind the 15 Sterling Lubricants rod of Leslie. So it's the 2K of Knapp out front, then it's Leslie, Penante, Bleach, and Mateo Penante, your top 5 as they run with 4 to go.
5 laps down, 3 to go. Number 2K of Rob Knapp out there in the lead now. Adam Leslie, actually both those front 2 cars breaking away from the pack a bit more now. Jeff Penante there in 3rd. And whoa, that one away to Bleach, a little sideways there, had a bit of an issue. Trying to keep it on the track there as best he can, and he has managed to do that. Although he is now, as you can see, moving it into the go-kart track. Hopefully we can stay green there for just a little longer there too. The white flag is in the air. Rob Knapp, the leader.
One more time around. Leslie still trying to chase Knapp. Hasn't been able to reel him in yet. He has 1 set of corners left to do it. On the inside, through 3 and 4. Adam Leslie having a look, but not going to get there. Rob Knapp will win. Another heat in the Sportsman. Wraps that one up over Leslie, Jeff Penante, Mateo Penante, and the 24C of Lane. Green flag in the air. Friesen driving away with things over right. Nelson Mason having a look down low in the 35R. He'll try to take 2nd from right as Mamo settles into 4th, and it's a battle for the 5th position between multiple cars as Curtis Friesen washes up the racetrack. He's going to drop multiple spots, and Mason will lead lap 1.
Nelson Mason with the early advantage, 1 lap in. Number 09 of Trevor Wright there in 2nd. Curtis Friesen trying to go right beside him there. And Jay Mallory trying to go to that inside line of Friesen to catch him for that 3rd spot. He is going to do just that and catch him for 3rd. The number 35R of Nelson Mason looking pretty good out there so far. 2 laps in, coming up on 3 laps in as your leader.
Mason still out front, then it's Wright, then the 20 of Mallory sitting in 3rd now. McPherson trying to come through the field as he works underneath Curtis Friesen in the Reed's Haulage 68. McPherson clears to 4th, and the 72 of Friesen follows through. That's JMF, James Friesen, up inside the top 5 now as well.
Coming up on past the halfway mark here of heat number 2. 5 down, 3 to go. Nelson Mason beginning to break away from the pack just that much more. He has about a 2.5 lead over the 09 of Trevor Wright. Jay Mallory, the number 20, out there in 3rd, about single file now throughout this entire heat. Coming up on 2 laps to go. Nelson Mason with a good ride out there here in heat number 2.
2 laps to go, and it's Mason out front. Then Wright settled into 2nd and is starting to drive away now from Mallory. McPherson trying to reel in the 20 of Mallory. For 3rd, as the white flag waves, it's Mason out front. then Wright, Mallory, McPherson, Friesen. That's James Friesen, this Bobcat of Hamilton 72 ride, rounding out the top 5. Everybody chasing Nelson Mason as he drives into 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkers in the air. Nelson Mason wins this heat over Trevor Wright, Jay Mallory, Cody McPherson, and James Friesen. Couple cars not making the show in this one. Petey's going to drive off with the lead coming to green. Terry Smith trying to go around the outside. A little bit of contact there as Pedante drove into the backside of Petey, and then it was Justin Sharp that got the worst of it as he was jammed in on the inside there, and he lost a bunch of track position. Smith will lead lap 1. Pedante is going to get by for second.
Terry Smith out there in front here in the early going, and whoa, a little sideways there at the back of the pack involving Justin Sharp and the 53 of Fairway and Petey as well. Still racing. Terry Smith out there in front, beginning to break away, followed by the 99P of Greg Pedante, 2 laps in.
Smith out front, then it's Pedante, Fairway, Costco. Terry Smith's really starting to open up that advantage over Pedante, and Pedante driving away from the battle for third. As not sure if that's new damage or old damage on the 53, but there's a lot of damage to that 53 car on the right-hand side. As you see it drive down the front stretch here, you'll see it all caved in there. That was an earlier incident in this feature. Halfway at the stripe, and it's all Terry Smith.
Halfway through, Terry Smith and Greg Pedante beginning to break away from the pack, those front 2 spots. Fairway there in the number 53, looking none the worse for wear despite that little cosmetic damage there, as you can see. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's 17C of Jordan Costco there into 4th. Coming up on 2 laps to go, 6 laps down, 2 to go. It is Terry Smith out there in front, followed by the number 99 of Greg Pedante.
Smith, Pedante. Fairway in the 53 hanging on to third over Costco. Going to be coming to the white flag, and Greg Pedante is closing on Terry Smith ever so slightly. Not sure if he's going to be close enough to make a move. Gets it down to about a car length as they're working for the final lap here. The Gaston's Auto Sales 99P of Pedante is trying to move forward. Terry Smith sits there in third in turn 3 and 4 with a steady advantage. Pedante's going to make it close, but Smith will hold him off. Terry Smith gets it done over Greg Pedante, Fairway, Costco, Sharp, and Petey. Green flag in the air. Modifieds underway here. One of the tighter points battles of the night, as points leader Matt Williamson not here tonight, so it's going to come down to Susie, Lindberg, and Bicknell, and Lindberg trying to get a good start to the night, going with some momentum early in this heat. He's already up to second and looking for more.
1 lap in, the number 28 of Todd Gordon there, the early leader. However, Gary Lindberg looking strong out there so far as well. He's there into second. Scott Wood in the 38 out there in third, and the 2 cool of Derek Van Mill out there in a 4th, 2 laps in. A good ride from the number 28 of Todd Gordon, but Gary Lindberg and Scott Wood are right there on his trail.
Todd Gordon out front, leading Lindberg. Wood having a good run there in third. Van Mill 4th, Flanagan 5th. Everybody chasing Todd Gordon in this one. The Blue Moon Potatoes ride out front. Lindberg under fire from Scott Wood, who's trying to take second away on the inside, and he'll do so. Big move from Scott Wood. Lindberg trying to cross him back over into 3 and 4 underneath the Henderson's Pharmacy 38. Here comes the 37S of Lindberg.
5 laps in, 3 to go. 28 of Todd Gordon still out there in front, beginning to break away just a little bit. However, it's a side-by-side battle there for that second spot between Gary Lindberg and Scott Wood. That second spot currently being occupied by Gary Lindberg as he's using that inside line to his advantage. 2 laps to go. Todd Gordon out in front with a good ride from him so far.
Gordon still leads. Lindberg back through to second. White flag in the air one more time around for Todd Gordon. Gary Lindberg now driving away from Lindberg just a little bit, or excuse me, from Wood. Lindberg trying to reel in Gordon. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Todd Gordon's going to grab this checkered flag. He wins it over Gary Lindbergh, Scott Wood, Derek Van Mill, and Dave Flanagan. Fast start into corner number 1 for Podwinski, but now here comes Luke Carlton fighting back on the outside in the 26. Luke Carlton can't make it work. Pierce settles into third on line, and then there's Ryan Susi. Susi out in the 4th spot in the championship standings. He will assume the lead as Matt Williamson not here tonight, down racing in the States. So technically, Ryan Susi will be the point leader heading into feature time with a 10-point advantage on Gary Lindbergh.
2 laps in, Tanner Podwinski still out there in front. However, Shea Pierce made a pretty good move out there at turn number 4 to get into that 2nd spot. Use that inside line to his advantage. Side by side there between Susi and Luke Carlton for that 3rd spot. Occupied now by Luke Carlton. 3 laps in, 5 to go here in heat number 2. And Shane Pierce is right on the trail of Tanner Podwinski, trying to get to that lead.
Pierce awfully close racing there with Podwinski. Podwinski slams the door into 1 and 2. The Enviro and Rail machine out in front. Pierce sits there in 2nd. Then it's Carlton battling there with Susi and Dylan Davidson on their tail as well.
5 laps down, 3 to go. Pretty good battle going on there for that lead between Tanner Podwinski and the number 88 of Shane Pierce. Shane Pierce still committed to that inside line to try to catch him. He's trying to swing onto that line. He's still side by side, but then almost a bit of contact there with him and Podwinski. But they kept it going. The battle's still going on for that lead. Coming up on the last lap of this heat.
Podwinski is slamming the door harder and harder on Pierce, and that time he'll clear right down and give them no daylight into corner number 1. Pierce doing all he can to try to find a hole around on the inside, but it looks like Podwinski's going to drive away with this one. Into 3 and 4, a bit of a car length gap now. Tanner Podwinski wins it over Shane Pierce, Luke Carlton, Ryan Susi, and Dylan Davidson. Green flag in the air. Carlton around the outside trying to take the advantage from Ferry. Pete Bignell, another one of our championship contenders, going to need a little bit of help tonight. He's trying to work his way around the outside of Ferry, not able to do it. And tight racing there as the hole closed in the middle as Rouse filled the gap, and now Chevalier down low is working over Bignell.
Freddie Carlton out there in front so far, beginning to open up a good lead there so far. Number 18 of Brad Rouse is there into 2nd, and the number 12 there in 3rd, followed by Pete Bignell in 4th. 2 laps in, Fast Freddie Carlton out there in front.
Dalton Slack trying to find a way around the 1F of Ferry at the back of the pack. Bignell riding there in 4th, watching the battle in front of him between Rouse and Chevalier. Everybody chasing Fast Freddie Carlton. And while Freddie's out front, we're going to wish a happy 8th birthday to Fast Freddie Carlton's granddaughter, Sophie. Happy birthday, Sophie. Got to be nice watching Fast Freddie out front, pacing this field halfway through.
Fast Freddie Carlton living up to his name here in heat number 3. Opening up almost a half a straightaway lead. Oh, a little airboard there almost with that number 12 of Chad Chevalier. He is side by side with the number 18 of Brad Rouse. With Pete Bignell right there in the mix there, he's still holding on into 4th. 5 laps in, 3 to go. Fast Freddie Carlton out there in front.
Carlton driving away from the field. Rouse being worked over by Chevalier. Heavy Chevy down low. That got awfully close as Rouse almost got dead sideways in front of Chevalier. He had to slam on the brakes, and that really messed up that battle as Rouse was able to gain another car length advantage over Chevalier and come into the white flag. Carlton, Rouse, Chevalier, Bignell. Slack's gotten around Ferry for 5th. One more time around. Here is Fast Freddie Carlton into 3 and 4. He's going to take the checkered first over Brad Rouse, Chad Chevalier, Pete Bignell, Dalton Slack, and Ryan Ferry.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
You're so tasty, drive me crazy, crazy, ain't nothing I can do.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
By starting this feature, it should ensure that no matter what, Tyler LaFontaine will be your track champion. Green flag in the air. Hadler around the outside. Trying to take advantage of the high line through 1 and 2. Looks like he might do that and go to the lead down the back straightaway. It's Hadler out front of Anderson, fighting back on the inside. Then they're 3 wide, about a couple rows back from that, maybe even 4 wide. Multiple cars sliding around on the surface, but everybody's going to be able to keep it clean and green. As I say that, Winiger turns it into the door of Duga. Everybody's going to be able to keep it going there. Hadler continues to lead.
Richard Hadler has the early advantage so far here in this feature. Jordan Dennebrigge, or actually I should say Mason Anderson is there on there as well in second. Whoa, a little sideways there between him and the 5K of Kenny Hare. Number 23 of Trevor DeBoer is there in the mix. He is in second. But at the moment, it is Richard Hadler out in front. But as I say that, it's going to be almost a 3-wide battle for that lead with Kenny Hare not too far behind him.
Trevor DeBoer needs to win to give himself any kind of chance at this title. He got to the front. He's leading it now. And If Toddy's in the wall. Couple cars bouncing off each other as If Toddy is going to be able to keep it going after rowing the moat and bouncing off the wall after contact with Barrick. Mason Anderson made contact with Pagnotta a few laps ago. That got things interesting here. And Tyler LaFontaine again up in the mix here, should have the championship locked up, even with Trevor DeBoer out in front looking for his first win of the year.
4 laps in, 11 to go. Trevor DeBoer out in front. However, Kenny Hare is right there with him, followed by that number 14L of John Lubeck. He's in the mix there in third. And we do have a yellow flag, and we have a flat rear tire, or actually a flat front tire there involving the number 7 of Jordan Dennebrigge. We are under yellow.
Dennebrigge with all kind of damage to the front end here, missing the front bumper, fascia, and right front flat. Brings it to a stop. Problem for Dennebrigge. And we are under yellow 4 laps into this one. Coming back to green with DeBoer and Hare out front. Kenny Hare looking to make it back-to-back feature wins. Working on the outside of DeBoer. It's tight racing coming to green. Into turn number 1. Hare works to the outside. DeBoer down low in the 23. It's 5K of Hare taking the lead on the outside. One car is slow and spun. That's the 77. Looks like he's going to be able to keep it rolling. Yes, he will. Successfully gets it rolling again and will stay green with Kenny Hare to the lead. Hare leads DeBoer. LaFontaine up to third. Lubeck around for fourth. And Pagnotta up inside the top 5 as well. Tight racing from the 4-cylinders.
Coming up on under 10 laps to go. Kenny Hare out there in front. However, it's about a 4-car battle there for that second spot. Tyler LaFontaine, Trevor DeBoer, John Lubeck, and Vincent Pagnotta getting themselves into the mix there as well. They're not too far behind Kenny Hare. And a little bit of white smoke coming from what I believe is the number 4 car. That number 4 car of Mason Anderson. And he's going to be looking to go into the pits, I do believe. 7 laps to go. Or actually, I should say 8 laps to go, 7 down. It is Kenny Hare out in the front.
Hare really driving away from the field now. Like I say, looking for those back-to-back wins. And our track champion, Tyler LaFontaine, riding there in third, looking for more, trying to get past his championship rival, Trevor DeBoer, who sat 58 points back coming into tonight, so mathematically was able to win the championship until Tyler LaFontaine took the green here tonight. Hare leads. Then it's DeBoer still riding there in second. LaFontaine's doing a good job working him over. Pagnotta working over Lubeck as the two Mustangs follow in fourth and fifth, and they're trying to settle that position side by side as well. Lap traffic ahead of the battle for second as Hare still out in front of this field. Hare is going to lead yet another lap out front, and LaFontaine will clear the 23 for second.
10 laps in, 5 to go. Kenny Hare beginning to comfortably edge his way out into the lead. He's got almost a half straightaway lead there over Tyler LaFontaine in about a 3-car battle there for that third spot. Almost a 3-wide battle for that third spot now. That is currently being occupied by that 14 out of John Lubeck. 4 laps to go. Kenny Hare with a good ride from him so far, looking to make it back-to-back wins.
As the field starts to get single file, you want to give a shout out. Oh, just as I say that, the 519 of Shaw pulls off the backstretch. The 519 of Rob Shaw was up into 6th position. He went up the racetrack and has slowed down the back straightaway. Tough break for Rob Shaw. Looks like he might be able to take it into the pit area. He'll do so after missing the pits initially. Tough break for Rob Shaw, who is having a great night as more contact out of turn number 4. Cuse has gotten together with somebody. I believe that might be the 7 of Denobriga, possibly? Denobriga and the 7 of Cuse both get together there, and we're under yellow with 3 laps to go. Coming back to green, and it's Kenny Hare out front with 3 laps to go. Tyler LaFontaine trying to put an exclamation point on what has been a fantastic championship run. Looking to the inside of the 5K for the lead down the back straightaway. It's Tyler LaFontaine working over the 5K of Hare. Hare goes to the middle line. LaFontaine goes down low. They're going to be side by side coming to the stripe.
2 laps to go. It's going to be a pretty good shootout there between Kenny Hare and Tyler LaFontaine. And John Lubeck also there in the mix as well. He is still out there into that top 3. As we come into that white flag, they're going to be encountering some lap traffic, that being Jacob McIntyre. White flag in the air. It's going to be an exciting finish between those 3 cars there.
If they keep leaning on each other the way they are, it might draw Lubeck into the situation. Hare leads it by half a car length. LaFontaine down low. John Lubeck lurks there, thinking about making it 3 wide through 3 and 4. Up the racetrack they go. Tyler LaFontaine, he will win it. He'll win the championship and the feature tonight on Seminux SO Night. Tyler LaFontaine is your Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the Lane 4-cylinder champion. He wins it over Kenny Hare, John Lubeck, Trevor DeBoer, and Vincent Pagnotta rounds out the top 5 in this feature tonight. Tyler, come on around here. Talk to us about this one, because it did not come easy for you. You had an engine change since last night. You had a tight battle there with Kenny Hare. Talk to us about the drive and putting an exclamation point on what has been an unreal championship season.
Yeah, this year has been unreal. I didn't expect this car to do what it did this year. It's, other than the engine problem we had this week, like, it's mostly been maintenance. Like, it hasn't been a lot of major failures. The car's been consistent. Last night it just it was breaking up, and we decided to change the engine for today, and obviously that was the problem. So I definitely got to thank my girlfriend here, Rebecca. I wasn't going to change the engine. I was just going to try and come for the show-up points, and she's like, no, change it. Let's get it out there. So.
And it results in win number 9. Just who do you want to thank for what has been an unreal year for you in this 96 car?
I got to thank, first off, everyone here who helps out with the car. APC Auto Parts in Welland, they supply pretty well all the parts for this car. Rob's Transmission is where I work. I get free reign of the shop. Anything I need, I work on it. Louisa's Sweet Retreat, she's an awesome sponsor. She's been with me forever. And Pro Fabrication, any race parts we need with the rims and stuff, he helps me out.
Congratulations, Tyler LaFontaine. Up at the front, it's Dylan Slider and Tyler Winger. Gonna be watching the battle all night long between Brent Bigelow and Josh Slider, who line up on the same row. Flag is up, pedals are down, away we go in the Rona Deutsch Mod Lights Championship season finale here. Winger's gonna go out in front. Couple early wins for Tyler Winger on the year, kept him in the battle late, but he's gonna need a lot of help if he wants to wrap up a track championship. Doing the right things already though, he's leading this one.
Good jump from Tyler Winger so far as he takes the early lead here in this feature. Dylan Slider out there in second. About a three-car battle there between the 44 of Ryan Anderson, Rob Meiser, as well as Brent Bigelow. Pretty competitive out there, as we can also add the 17 of Josh Slider into the mix there as well. However, it's 2 laps in. A good ride from Tyler Winger out there so far in the lead.
Brent Bigelow slicing and dicing his way through the field, chopping it up, trying to go around the outside of the 44, while also simultaneously getting underneath the 1 of Dylan Slider. Bigelow into corner number 1, underneath Dylan Slider, looking to take over the second spot as Slider washes up the racetrack. He'll surrender more than just the second spot as Ryan Anderson slips through in the 44. Everybody chasing Tyler Winger in the 4. He sees the Tim Horton stripe there and leads it over Bigelow, Anderson, Dylan Slider, and now Josh Slider.
4 laps in, and Winger is about opening up almost a 2-second lead there over the number 16 car of Brent Bigelow. Number 44, Ryan Anderson, holding strong there in the third. And almost a 3-car battle coming up for that third spot. However, still being occupied there by Ryan Anderson. 5 laps in, now a 2-second lead for Tyler Winger.
Winger out front, trails Bigelow by 41 points into tonight. So gonna need a lot of help if he wants to erase that deficit. Almost nearly impossible with, I believe, the amount of cars that we have in the field. Winger out front, then it's Bigelow. Josh Slider nearest to Bigelow in the track championship competition. Trailed by 24 points going into tonight, so he needed some help as well. And right now, he's losing points to that 16 car of Brent Bigelow.
7 laps in, and with Tyler Winger firmly out in front, the battle going on right now is for that third spot between the 44 of Ryan Anderson and Josh Slider. It's currently being occupied by Josh Slider at the moment. And with Tyler Winger firmly out in front, he might be encountering some lap traffic pretty soon, so he does have to be careful there. But right now, he's got almost a 2.5-second lead as we come up on 9 laps in, almost halfway through. Pretty good ride out there from Tyler Winger out there so far. But Brent Bigelow is still trying to stay there in contention.
Winger out for a Saturday night cruise, really in control of this one, driving away from Brent Bigelow right now. This time by at the stripe, Winger leads Bigelow by now a difference of 2.395 seconds. 2.3 seconds the advantage, almost starting to stretch things out even further. Winger driving around the 8 of Hill. Josh Slider is now starting to catch Brent Bigelow for second. Bigelow appears to have pretty decent car, but Josh Slider just a little bit better as he works through 1 and 2 on the low side.
Over a 2.5-second lead there for Tyler Winger as we come up on 8 laps to go. 12 down there. Brent Bigelow still holding strong there into second, and Josh Slider still there in third, but he's going to try to catch Bigelow for that spot. He's trying to find that line. He's trying to go on that outside line to catch him for that second spot. He's trying to make that big move there. And Tyler Winger beginning to encounter some lap traffic, that being the 14 car of Chance Kotar. So he does have to be careful there. 7 laps to go. A very good ride there from Tyler Winger as he is now opening up a 3-second lead.
Winger driving away from the lead group of Bigelow and Slider as Josh Slider's now going to go around Brent Bigelow for second and clear. So it's Tyler Winger leading Josh Slider now. Brent Bigelow, Ryan Anderson, Sean Iftati. Winger and Slider both need wins and both need trouble for Bigelow. Trouble does not mean finishing third, which is currently where Brent Bigelow is running. He's doing all he needs to do to wrap up the track championship in the Rona Deutsch Mod Lights with 5 laps to go.
And coming up on 4 laps to go here for Tyler Winger. As long as he stays clean and green, he is well on his way to winning here tonight. Josh Slider now passing that 14 car of Chance Kotar, lapping him down. Brent Bigelow still holding on strong into that top 3. And Ryan Anderson still holding on strong into that top 5. He is in 4th. 3 laps to go. It has been all Tyler Winger. A great ride from him tonight.
2 wins early in the season for Tyler Winger at the misfortune of Brent Bigelow. But through the summer months, a little bit of a slower, quieter season for Tyler Winger. Coming to the championship finale here, he's trying to really hammer home that he is one of the top drivers in this division by winning win number 3, and he is now coming to the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for Tyler Winger. Josh Slider closing in ever so slightly. That lead now under 2 seconds for the first time in this race in several laps, but he's going to need a lot of help on this lap if Slider wants to win it. Into 3 and 4, coming to the checkers. Give a call to Tyler Winger. He will win it over Josh Slider. And here comes your 2022 track champion, Brent Bigelow. Brings it home 3rd over Ryan Anderson and Sean Iftati. So unofficially, it's Brent Bigelow, the track champion in the Rona Dodge Mod Lights, and Tyler Winger winning feature win number 3 on the year. Tyler Winger climbs out of the car. He is a winner once again. Tyler, come on around. You got the epic racewear checkered flag in your hand. For the 3rd time this season, talk to us about 2022 and yet another feature win for you on the year.
Yeah, we started off the season pretty strong and struggled through the middle point of the season. The past couple races seemed to come back around. Yeah, Brent's just been dominant this year on the front. I just knew I had to try to get out as far as I could, and I was waiting for on the bottom, but gladly we were fast enough to keep up a good pace and get the win.
And who do you want to thank for the drive here tonight?
I'd like to thank my parents, the car owner, RCM Racing, and Seminux for sponsoring the night.
Congratulations, Tyler Winger, feature win number 3. And let's head on down to catch up with the track champ. 10 wins on the year in the Mod Lights. And Brent Bigelow, you are the 2022 Rona Dodge Mod Light champion. Talk to us about what an amazing year 2022 has been for you in this 16 ride.
Yeah, to be honest, it was up and down. We had 3 DNFs there, which made things difficult. We had to bounce back and then catch up and then bounce back, and it was a tough one, not gonna lie. So I was glad to get this away. Thinking all week, what should we do? Play it safe or what? But yeah, that was pretty safe there. I was maybe 60%, but once I got to 2nd and I heard Josh there, and I knew he'd want to battle, right? So I really let him go, and I knew if I rode there, it was over. So tonight, thinking big picture. I hate doing that because I'm here to win, but yeah, we just had to race this race like that, and I'm glad it worked out. Congrats on the 4 team, 3 wins. That's a good year too. So. And everyone involved, my whole team and the Slider family and everyone that wrenches on the car. Couldn't have done it without them. And 16 fans and everyone that cheers. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess we'll see you at the banquet.
Congratulations. Brent Bigelow, once again, the 2022 champion. Jeff Bean and Zach Bleach will lead him to green. Flag is up, pedals are down, away we go in the Hoosier Stock finale. Dave Bailey already a champion in this division here at Merrittville, but who wants to win? They're slicing and dicing, jockeying for position. 3 wide, multiple rows deep already through 1 and 2. Into 3 and 4, it's Bleach leading, Jim Lampman, Donnie Lampman, and Jason Fontaine, and then a whole mess of cars behind them, bouncing off each other down the front stretch.
1 lap in, Zach Bleach with the early advantage. About a 3-car battle there between both Donnie and Jim Lampman. And Jason Fontaine, you could also add Kyle Pelrine into that mix. He for that 2nd spot. I believe that's currently being occupied by Jason Fontaine. However, Kyle Pelrine just moved up into 2nd. Zach Bleach still out in front, 2 laps in. Kyle Pelrine there in the 2nd. Not too far behind him there is Jason Fontaine in the number 1J. And the Actually, that would be Donnie Lampman there is there in 4th. Dave Bailey, who started out in 12th, is now moved himself into the top 5, who of course has already wrapped up the Hoosier Stock Championship here this season, looking to finish out strong here in 2022.
Caught up with Dave Bailey on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast with Travis Cunningham this week, and he told us all about how, as much as he's already the champion of this class, there's a lot of drivers, Rob Murray, Mark Fawcett, Beagle, and others who could have been contenders that just didn't quite show up to every single race, whether it be for mechanical issues, whether it be for missing time for other occasions. Bailey knows that it's a privilege to be a champion of such a diverse and competitive class in the Hoosier Stocks, and he doesn't take it for granted as he works over the 1J at Fontaine, while Pellrine begins to work over Zach Bleach for the lead. 4-car battle up at the front for the first 4 spots. Mark Fawcett and Donnie Lampman also working there.
6 laps in, 20 to go, and we had a little bit of a problem there involving the number 5 of Darcy Grant. Kind of spun out there a little bit, but he's going to take it into the pits. And that is going to put us under the yellow flag 6 laps in.
Also calls at 1 SO gift cards on the door prize draw. It's Pellrine and Bleach. Green flag back in the air. 6 laps on the board, 14 to go in the Hoosier Stocks. Bleach around the outside trying to clear Pellrine. Jason Fontaine trying to follow suit up on the high side. Pellrine on the inside in the 47X is lurking low. 108 of Bleach slides up the racetrack. Might be a 3-car battle as Fontaine thought about putting it in the middle. Couldn't quite make it work. And that brings Dave Bailey back in the picture.
Bleach still into the lead after that restart. However, there's about 3 cars there who's saying, I want that lead as well. Kyle Pellrine's moving on to that inside line to try to catch Bleach for that lead. And looks like he's going to do just that, only by a little bit. Jason Fontaine, Dave Bailey, and also Mark Fawcett getting himself into the mix. 8 laps in, 12 to go. Boy, this is a pretty competitive go at it here on the Hoosier Stock feature this evening. Could be anybody's game right now with about 4 or 5 cars into that mix.
Bleach still nosing ahead at the stripe over Pellrine. Fontaine has now crossed over to the bottom side, and that's allowed Mark Fawcett to get to the outside. 25 of Sargent has slowed down the moat here on the front stretch. Bleach, Pellrine, and a yellow flag is out for the 25 of Sargent. And we are back under yellow with 11 laps to go. Once again, we've got Pellrine and Bleach out front. Bleach, the leader, has elected to take the outside line. Pellrine down low. Then it's Fontaine in 3rd, Fawcett in 4th, Bailey 5th, Donnie Lampman 6th, Kyle Haynes, Steve Shaw. Green flag back in the air. Fontaine gets a little squirrely on the start, but that almost gave him a good run to the inside of Pellrine into 1 and 2. Around the outside comes Bleach with a little bit of help from Fawcett, who may have given a little bit of a push through that corner, and now is continuing to lean on him a little bit into 3 and 4. Pellrine fighting tough on the inside line of that 47X, trying to lead this lap, but it's still side by side, and Pellrine leads it by, cars jamming up on the entry to corner number 1. Sheehan gets into the 19. Haynes has a problem in the 22. He's slowing, and we've got all kinds of chaos at the back of the pack. The 22 of Haynes looks like he's going to miss pit road, and he'll come to a stop on the high side of turn number 2. Yellow flag back in the air in this one after contact from about 6th position on backwards. Brings the 22 of Haynes to a stop, and we are under yellow once again. We'll try it again with Bleach and Pellrine out front in this one. Pellrine gets a good start on the inside, and he takes Bleach to school there. In at corner number 1, Bleach is going to have to dig if he wants to get back to the outside of Pellrine. Meanwhile, Fawcett's having a look to the inside of Pellrine. 2 cars chasing Kyle Pellrine, who's in search of his 2nd feature win on the year. Around the outside comes Bleach. He opens the door. Here comes Fontaine. Bailey lurking there as well. Smoke coming out of the back of the 1J of Fontaine. That might be Terminal. He's spraying for Skeeters, but the 1J still running. Yellow flag out. tough break for the 1J of Fontaine. Jason Fontaine throwing a whole bunch of smoke out the back tailpipes. There's going to be a whole bunch of oil to run into the racetrack here as well. And what a tough break for Jason Fontaine, who is having one of his strongest nights on what has been an incredibly consistent night, or consistent year in 2022 for the 1J. U-Pick Auto Parts Pace Truck is in. Now it is Kyle Pellrine and Mark Fawcett on the front row. They fire out of corner number 4, and it's Pellrine nosing ahead, but Mark Fawcett around the outside, gonna try to take the lead off of corner number 2. Mark Fawcett leads Pellrine. Donnie Lemon now up to 3rd. Bleach under fire from Shaw and Bailey. Mark Fawcett clear to the lead, and he continues out front over Kyle Pellrine. Meanwhile, Donnie Lemon using the outside to try to drive his way up inside the top 3.
Mark Fawcett and Kyle Pellrine breaking the way from the pack just a little bit there after that restart. Fawcett in the lead. Pellrine trying to go to that inside line. Trying to catch him. Whoa, almost a little bit of contact with him and Fawcett, but kept it going there. 3-car battle there between Bleach, Lampman, and Bailey for that 3rd spot, currently occupied by Bleach. And the 0 bat rod in the moat, but kept it there, and that is going to put us under yellow with Trevor Want in the moat as well.
Trevor Want and John Couture come together on the front stretch. Into the moat they both go. Heavily damaged race cars on both, but it looks like Want's going to be able to keep it moving and will drive away. And only looks like cosmetic damage, hopefully for him. Same for the Couture bat rod here. You can see it's really caved in now on the passenger side. The Trevor Want 19 is into the pits. Couture, lots of damage on the bat rod there, but still rolling. And we're under green with 6 laps to go. Mark Fawcett, Kyle Pellrine, Zach Bleach, Donnie Lampman, Dave Bailey, Steve Shaw, Todd Shaw, Go Fast People. We're back under green, and it's Fawcett driving away into number 1. 1 car, 2 cars wrecked up on the high side. It's the 5 and the 19 of Want, and we're under yellow again. Darcy Grant in the 5, Trevor Want. Fawcett, Pellrine, Bleach, Donnie Lampman, Dave Bailey, Steve Shaw, Todd Shaw, Go Fast People, Brad Sheehan, and Jim Lampman. Green flag in the air, 6 to go to settle it. Better start that time from Kyle Pellrine, who's going to work to the outside of Mark Fawcett into corner 1. Around the outside comes the 47X of Pellrine. He'll nose ahead down the front stretch into 3 and 4. Fawcett down low, trying to work to the inside of Pellrine and clear him down the front stretch. He'll do so.
5 laps to go, however, and Mark Fawcett in the lead. However, Kyle Pellrine is making sure he's working for that. He's almost right there in his bumper, trying to go to that. Let's see where he's trying to go. He's trying to go inside. Didn't quite work. He's still right there with him for that lead. 3-car battle there for that 3rd spot between Donnie Lampman, Zach Bleach, as well as Dave Bailey in that number 49. Coming up on, well, it's 4 laps to go, coming up on 3 to go. Pretty good duel right now between Mark Fawcett and Kyle Pellrine, with Fawcett out in front.
Fawcett leads. Pellrine, Bailey, the championship leader, and should be champion tonight just simply by starting this race, is running 3rd. Bleach now into 4th. Donnie Lampman to 5th. Everybody chasing Mark Fawcett, who sees 2 to go at the stripe. Popsicle sticks in the air.
2 laps to go. Mark Fawcett beginning to inch his way out in front just that much more over Kyle Pellrine. Just about single file now as we come up onto that white flag. Bailey is there in 3rd. Zach Bleach there in 4th, and Donnie Lampman in 5th. White flag in the air. Mark Fawcett, your leader.
Fawcett driving away with it, looking for win number 4 on the year in the Hoosier stock, numbered 32. Into 3 and 4. Quick fire starter on the side of that car. Mark Fawcett slides it home, and he will grab the win Bailey's going to grab second and the championship. Kyle Pelrine third, Zach Bleach fourth, and Donnie Lampman rounds out your top 5 on what has been a spectacular championship season for the Hoosier Stocks here at Merrittville Speedway. We'll catch up with 4-time feature winner Mark Fawcett down in victory lane shortly, as well as your champion, Dave Bailey. In the Hoosier Stocks, once again, the 4th time on the air, give a call to Mark Fawcett, a winner tonight. What a year it's been for this 32 car. Mark, come around, win number 4 on the year. Talk to us about the drive and getting it done here at Merrittville in an incredibly competitive Hoosier Stock class.
Yeah, it's great that we had a great car count tonight. It's nice to see the numbers. Been a very racy track. Hope it was good for the fans. It was really tight. Hard to get by everybody, but once I got past, hopefully I just kind of moved away from the pack a little bit. But got to thank my sponsors again. It's been a great year and can't do without them. Quick Wick, Gale's Aftermarket, Pete's Nicam, Sticker at SP Motorsports, built this nice 305, guys. I'm the only guy who runs it in the field, and I win pretty much every week, so it's a pretty good combination. For me, it doesn't work for everybody. But thanks to everybody and the fans, and hopefully see you next year.
Congratulations on a great season, yet another win. Mark Fawcett in the 32. And speaking of congratulations, let's catch up with your track champion, Dave Bailey in the Brewster Baker 49. Dave, talk to us about the drive tonight, sneaking home a 2nd place finish right there at the end over close competitor Kyle Pelrine, and another championship for you.
Yeah, what a racetrack that was tonight. Super fast, really wide. Everybody could get racing, and it was an awesome show from where I was.
What do you want to thank for a championship-winning season?
I got to thank my family for always putting up and always helping, and Queenston Chef, Jibs Action Sports, and Merrittville Speedway for giving us a place to race. Congratulations.
It's Dave Bailey, your 2022 champion, winning it in the Hoosier Stocks. Up next, your Right Choice Auto and Leisure Sportsman. Congrats again to Mark Fawcett, another great year from him. 4 feature wins for that 32 car, including the big one here on Seminex Esso Night. Sportsman up next.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Matteo Panante and Trevor Wright. Flag is up, pedals are down, away we go in the Right Choice Auto and Leisure Sportsman. Wright around the outside. Couple cars already bouncing off each other. Costco's 3 wide there with Knapp a little further in the field. Meanwhile, Wright now cuts to the inside, trying to drive underneath Matteo Panante. He'll do so. Trevor Wright is going to lead lap 1.
Trevor Wright in the lead in the early going. However, it is anybody's game so far. Matteo Panante not too far behind him there in second. The number 22 of Terry Smith is there in third. And the number 15 right of Adam Leslie in the mix there in fourth. 2 laps in here in the early going. Trevor Wright is your leader.
Wright starting to drive away from second place, which is a hotly contested battle between Terry Smith and Matteo Panante. Adam Leslie in the 15 is lurking there, while Jeff Panante also sits inside the top 5. Now, it's Smith and Leslie both past the 66 of Panante. Mason under fire, 1 car into the wall. It's Justin Sharp, he's got a piece of it, and it looks like it was a heavy incident against the wall. That should bring out a yellow. Justin Sharp puts us under yellow 3 laps into this one. You Pick Auto Parts pace truck is in. Trevor Wright, Terry Smith, that is your front row. Trevor Wright hits the scoreboard, points it towards the front of the field, driving off from Terry Smith. Smith, however, goes around the outside in at corner 1 and 2 and draws even just for a moment as he works around Trevor Wright. Wright's going to hang on to the lead into 3 and 4. Mason's up to 4th, trying to work over Panante Jr., the 99P Panante, Mateo Panante. It's Wright, Smith, Leslie, Mason, and then Mateo Panante, Greg Panante, Jeff Panante. 3 Panantes all in a row there, 5th through 7th.
Coming up on 5 laps in, 20 to go. Here in this feature, Trevor Wright in the lead after that restart. Terry Smith out there, followed by Adam Leslie in the number 15. He's moving on his way up onto that outside line. He's swinging around that way to try to catch Trevor Wright for that lead. Didn't quite work out as he was hoping for. Whoa, a little bit of contact there between him and Smith, but they are kept it going. And the 35 of Nelson Mason is now there in the mix into that top 5. He is in 4th. And the 66 of Panante there in 5th. 7 laps in, 18 to go. It is Trevor Wright out in front.
Cars leaning on each other deeper in the pack. Greg Panante going backwards. He's getting roughed up. Jordan Costco and Mateo Panante got a piece of him that last lap. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, it's Wright, Leslie, Smith. Looks like Daryl Fairway's come to a rest on the high side of 4, and that will put us under the yellow flag in this one. Problem for Daryl Fairway. Merrittville Speedway U-Pick Auto Parts Pace Truck is in. Trevor Wright, Adam Leslie lead him back to green. 8 laps on the board, 17 to go, and it's Nelson Mason trying to make an aggressive move to the inside of Leslie. Leslie, however, sails it in on the outside, and he's going to nose ahead with the advantage. Meanwhile, Mason takes 3rd. McPherson in the 22 trying to sort out 4th position there. And at the stripe, Leslie, more cars stacking up at the back of the pack. James Friesen is around. Nathan Peaty is around. The 49 gets a piece of it as well. I believe that is Jeff Panante, who's missing a wheel, I believe, on the front, right front. It might be either down or completely off on that race car. Chaotix come back to green moment there as back of the pack sees multiple cars stack up, get damage, and we're under yellow once again. Coming back to green here, it's Wright and Leslie on your front row. Mason trying to get up in there and challenge for the 2nd spot. Instead, Leslie goes around the outside, and now Mason's got to play defense as Smith briefly stuck his nose in there. And here comes the 17C of Jordan Costco up into the top 5 as well. Leslie hangs it out on the way outside. Now Mason even with him for 2nd. Everybody chasing Trevor Wright.
Trevor Wright in the lead still after that restart. However, that number 15 car of Adam Leslie is there in the mix, and also Nelson Mason. He's trying to go to that inside line to catch him. Didn't quite work out as he was hoping for. About a 3-car battle there. And also the 17C of Jordan Costco getting himself into the mix as well, with Cody McPherson getting there as well. He is now into 5th. Coming up on 12 laps in, nearly halfway through, it is Trevor Wright, your leader. But look out for that 15 car of Leslie.
Everybody working hard at the front of the field to keep their track position. Up at the front, Wright and Leslie continue to do battle side by side. Nelson Mason's trying to find a way that he can get into that fight as well. Got a fast car, but he's stuck behind those 2. Hasn't been able to work past Leslie, hasn't been able to work underneath Wright, and now sees Costco and McPherson battling in his rearview mirror. Wright's got a little bit of breathing room as now the 35 and 15 are side by side into 3 and 4. That time by, Mason may have caught the inside barrier, but whatever he did, it was a fast lap. He clears the 15, now has his sights set on Trevor Wright.
Past the halfway mark, 11 laps to go, coming up on 10. Trevor Wright still holding on strong into that lead spot. However, Nelson Mason, whoa, look at that big move there on the inside to catch him for the lead. My goodness, what a move that was. And Cody McPherson is now on the inside of Trevor Wright to try to catch that spot as well. Coming up on 9 laps to go. That was a big move from Nelson Mason. Almost airborne there. He is still in the lead. Boy, he is really going for it here tonight.
I wonder if that's something he learned in formula racing. Up at the front of the field, Nelson Mason, formerly a driver in Europe, has caught the inside barrier multiple times in the last few laps, sending that 35 airborne, but also sending him on a Saturday night cruise. He is flying, driving away from Cody McPherson, the track champion. Right now it's Mason out front, then it's McPherson. 17C of Costco is up to third, Trevor Wright up to fourth, and Adam Leslie now sits fifth. As we're coming with 7 laps to go, now 6 to go. Excuse me, 7 to go still.
7 laps to go, and I'll tell you what, Nelson Mason is just flying down that track. However, Cody McPherson is right there in the mix there. He is there in second, Jordan Costco up in the third, Trevor Wright now back into fourth spot. Nelson Mason opening up a pretty good lead there over Cody McPherson as we come up on 5 laps to go. 20 down, 5 to go. Nelson Mason out in front.
Mason leads McPherson. Yellow flag is out. There's a couple cars around on the backstretch. That's not what Nelson Mason wanted to see, as McPherson now will get to close in. Cameron Lane around. A couple other cars involved. I believe the 49 got a piece of that one. And Noah Mamo also involved in the 3N. It's Nelson Mason leading Cody McPherson, Jordan Costco, Trevor Wright, Adam Leslie, green flag in the air. What a start from Mason. What does Cody McPherson have for Mason? Into turn number 1. Mason starting to drive away with one car around on the back stretch here, or on the front stretch. I believe that might be the 68 of Friesen. Not sure which car that is. It was Curtis Friesen that looped it at the back of the pack after getting tagged on the restart with 5 laps to go in the Sportsman. Cody McPherson, the track championship winner, wants to put an exclamation point on what has been a great 2022 season by winning one more feature here, but he's going to have to defeat a very fast Nelson Mason, who is already up to a car length advantage as they work down the back straightaway. Mason into 3 and 4. McPherson second, Costco third. McPherson there and working.
4 laps to go. Nelson Mason still in the lead after that restart. Great ride from him. He is flying. Cody McPherson there in second. Jordan Costco maintaining his spot in third. Trevor Wright in fourth. 3 laps to go. Nelson Mason with a great ride from him tonight. He is still your leader.
Mason still leading. McPherson trying to find a way around the 35. Jordan Costco having a great run there in third. 2 laps to go, and it's Mason still out front.
2 laps to go. Nelson Mason trying to hold on to his lead for just another couple of laps there over Cody McPherson. Jordan Costco maintaining his third spot, and Trevor Wright maintaining fourth. 1 lap to go. Nelson Mason still out in front.
Mason leads McPherson, has a comfortable gap back to him. Mason, McPherson, Costco, Wright, Leslie, your top 5 for the final time through 3 and 4. Give a call to Nelson Mason, feature winner, and your 2022 champion, Cody McPherson in the Willard Concrete and Trucking number 7. They go 1-2. It's second feature win of the year for Nelson Mason in the 35. And track championship to the 7 of McPherson. Give a call to Nelson Mason in the 35. Climbing out a winner once again. He's got the checkered flag from Epic Racewear. He's got the Seminex Esso hat, and he's got win number 2 officially on the season. Nelson, come on around here. Talk to us about the drive. Winning again here at Merrittville Speedway and catching some air up off of corner 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been doing this for a year, and I found a quicker way through 4. Just cut over the guardrail there. But no, I mean, It was a tough race because everyone that was starting in front of me was really quick, so it was going to be a little bit of a doozy, but I had a lot of rear grip and it was really working for me, but then once I saw the 7 there and all these restarts, I was getting a little bit hot under the collar, a little bit worried, but no, it was a good run, and I mean, I got through cleanly, which was kind of tough because everybody was, like, I saw the 09 and the 15 banging, and I was thinking, I can go through the middle. The middle's working for me, but they need to open up. So fortunately they did, and I got through. But yeah, just pumped to be back in victory lane, 3rd time in victory lane technically. So I'll take that. And all in all, a good season, but obviously big ups to the number 7. That's just a phenomenal year he's put together.
And who do you want to thank for the drive here tonight, Nelson?
Well, I got to thank my dad first and foremost. He's nonstop, and he is a driving force for sure. But everybody here, I got family here. My cousin Mike, who actually painted my helmet. So I got him. I got my Uncle Hank here, who's nonstop help. The Van der Zandens, of course. And then everyone we see here. I've got Johnny Bevan on the engine, but Silverdale Excavating, DLB Electric, Overbeat Custom Exteriors, Jesse Mason, Casey Painting Boys. Just everybody that's helped us through this year, and hopefully next year bigger and better.
Congratulations on a great 2022, winning it once again. And let's catch up with the champion, Cody McPherson. Gets it done in dominating fashion. Tell us about what has been an incredible year in lucky number 7 here at Merrittville Speedway.
Yeah, you know, it's been a great year. Car's been good every week. This is the 5th race in a row I finished 2nd, though, so don't like that very much. But no, Nelson was just really good tonight. He could roll the middle. There's so much bite in this track right now. I think the moisture's coming up, so it's hard to pass. He was just better than we were tonight, so get to work and get better for tomorrow night and next week here.
And who do you want to thank for a championship-winning season?
I really got to thank Rick Belante. He helped me out all year. Sponsorship and in the garage and at the racetrack. Jacob Chevalier, he helped me in the pits every night. And then all my sponsors, Willard Concrete and Trucking, Grant McPherson, Rick's Delivery, Titan Crane, Dirt Outlaw Apparel, Beaver Lock Farms, PVM Hydraulics, Little Al, Summertime Spray Foam. I got a lot more Niagara Trailers, but yeah, everyone that helps, and special thanks to Norm for letting me use his trailer again all year, and I appreciate it.
Congratulations, your 2022 track champion, Cody McPherson, gets it done in the 7. One name missing for the list is technically your championship leader, Matt Williamson, who is forfeiting tonight. His points going and chasing the money. Down south, flag is up, pedals are down. Away we go in the 358 Modifieds, the John Spencer Memorial. Van Mill's going to lead it early. The drivers to keep an eye on, Ryan Susi, Gary Lindberg, and Pete McNell, all in the title fight tonight. Up at the front, Van Mill leads lap 1 over Podwinski, Luke Carlton, Todd Gordon, and Freddie Carlton.
Eric Van Mill out there in front of the early advantage. Henry Podwinski maintaining his lead in the 2nd. And he's trying to go to that inside line to catch. Van Mill didn't quite work out as he was hoping for. Luke Carlton there in 3rd, the 28 of Todd Gordon there in 4th. 2 laps in, it is Van Mill, your leader.
Van Mill leads, and it's Podwinski. Carlton. That's your top 3. Carlton trying to reel in Podwinski. Shane Pierce just got into the top 5 in the 88 machine. Down the back straightaway, everybody still chasing the Too Cool of Derek Van Mill early on in this one. Let's keep an eye on those championship contenders at the stripe. Pete McNell is up to 8th. Ryan Susi sits 10th. And Gary Lindberg 11th. Couple of issues up off the corner there. It looks like the Scott Wood machine. Yes, the 38 of Scott Wood is off on the high side of turn number 2. And we are under yellow early in this 50-lapper. It's Van Mill, Podwinski, Luke Carlton. Todd Gordon in the 4th spot. He's going to slide back on this restart. Green flag in the air. Tight racing into corners 1 and 2. Cars all over each other, trying to slice and dice their way through the field. Got to be careful if you're one of those championship contenders. Speaking of contenders, Pete McNell making a big move to try to crack inside the top 5. Ryan Susi also going to get alongside. Look at all the championship contenders. They've all found each other on the racetrack. They're all side by side and battling for position outside the top 5. Van Mill under fire from Luke Carlton. Shane Pierce trying to take third away from Todd Gordon. And Susi, the lead car in the championship fight as they run.
6 laps in. Luke Carlton now out in front over Derek Van Mill. 28 of Todd Gordon out there in third. Shane Pierce in the mix there. He's now in fourth. Susi in fourth. And look at Gary Lindbergh. He is flying down there trying to get himself into that top 5 with the championship on the line. He is right beside Susi. Coming up on 8 laps in, 42 to go. It is Luke Carlton out in front.
Luke Carlton leads. Van Mill, Gordon, Pierce. Then we turn our attention to 5th place where we see a couple cars in trouble on the backstretch. Tanner Podwinski and Luke Carlton. More cars bouncing around as Podwinski drives into the back of the 38 of Wood. Tanner Podwinski way off the pace. Ferry hits him. Podwinski in the GR Enviro Rail 72 will bring out the yellow flag as he bounced off about 3 or 4 different cars at various points on that lap. And we are under yellow on lap 9. Luke Carlton, too cool of Van Mill. Green flag in the air. Cars stacking up behind. Van Mill's going to get into Todd Gordon on the restart. Carlton leads. Susi's going to drive underneath. More cars involved. Bicknell and Lindbergh get together, going around Freddie Carlton. Everybody chasing Luke Carlton, and Ryan Susi's driving away from his championship contenders.
10 laps in. Luke Carlton in the lead after that restart. Ryan Susi, he's there in third, trying to maintain his lead there in his championship points. 28 of Todd Gordon, there side by side with Susi there for that second spot. 11 laps in, Carlton still your leader. Gary Lindbergh getting himself into the mix. He is in fourth as well. Well, look at Pete Bicknell, he's getting himself into the mix into that top 5. Big move and whoa! And Shane Pierce, and a reaction there.
Shane Pierce goes around on the backstretch. Boyd McTavish drives it right into the front of that 88 machine, and we're going to go red here to clean this one up. In a wild incident there between the 88 and the 41. That all started with Shane Pierce riding up the racetrack. I believe may have been in contact with another car that put him in that position. He lost control, spins it on the back straightaway. Most of the field gets by, but Boyd McTavish has nowhere to go and drives straight into the 88. And it has been a tough season for the Shane Pierce 88 machine. Steady, had speed, had pace. He's flipped that car twice and come back to the racetrack each week, putting out great efforts. And once again, gonna get bitten by the bad luck bug here at Merrittville Speedway. Up front, Luke Carlton will lead him back to green alongside Todd Gordon. Then it's Ryan Susi, the championship leader. Lindbergh, Van Mill, Bicknell, green in the air. Carlton gets a great jump. He's driving away from the rest of the pack. Here comes Todd Gordon on the outside, as well as Gary Lindbergh, who's going to go around the outside of Susi. Susi sits there in third. Bicknell up to 5th. Championship contenders, one car slowing. It's Todd Gordon. Gordon's going to pull off to the outside and take it through the moat. And we are under yellow. Problem for the Blue Moon Potatoes 28 of Todd Gordon. Give a call to Todd Gordon, walking it off. Reporters the drive shaft came undone and hit him in the leg while running there. Ryan Susi technically the leader with Williamson not here. And Pete Bicknell also with an outside chance at this track championship in 2022. Lights are out on the U-Pick Auto Parts pace truck. Lindbergh, Carlton on the front row. Carlton gets a great jump. He's going to drive off from Ryan Susi with him into corner one. Lindbergh stands on it, trying to get back even with Luke Carlton. Not able to do it. Susi falling back into the clutches of Bicknell. Right at the front, Lindbergh into 3 and 4, using the high side. Going to try to draw even with Luke Carlton down the front stretch. He'll do so and try to set up the move into one.
Luke Carlton out in front. However, as I just said that, Gary Lindbergh is right there hot in his trail. He's trying to swing way outside to catch Carlton. He's committed to that line, and also Susi and Bicknell are right there with him as well. You can tell there's a championship on the line. 14 laps in, Gary Lindbergh is now your leader, followed by Luke Carlton, Susi, and Pete Bicknell. Boy, this is going to be something here for the championship.
With Lindbergh out front, Susi needs to hang on to third, otherwise it's a championship tie at the front of the field in the modifieds. Pete Bicknell trying to go around the outside. Here comes Pete. Driving on the outside, is going to take away third spot from Susi and look for more on the outside of Carlton. Lindbergh leads this lap. Carlton, contact between Bicknell and Susi. They drive over top of each other. That could get spicy later in the race. And now Susi going to get alongside Bicknell again and drive him up the racetrack. And they're all chasing Gary Lindbergh, who's trying to win the championship and the race.
17 laps in. Whoa there.
More huge contact that time down the front stretch. Susi and Bicknell going at it. Susi needs to be smart. He's throwing away the championship with Gary Lindbergh out front. Lindbergh now inherited the points lead as they run. Bicknell rides in fourth. Susi's fifth and looking to drop another spot. Here comes the 38 of Wood. This is playing into exactly what Gary Lindbergh needs. Lindbergh out front, pacing this field. A lot of time to go. 31 laps on the board, but Ryan Susi comes together with Pete Bicknell, and that may cost both of them a shot at this title.
Coming up on 20 laps in, Gary Lindbergh using that, whoa, almost a bit of a problem there. Almost hit that guardrail there on turn one. He's still in the lead. However, he's got to be careful there. 20 laps in, he's in the lead. Carlton there in second. 18 there in third. Pete Bicknell now into fourth. Scott Wood getting himself into the mix in there in fifth. Gary Lindbergh is flying. He's trying to win that championship, but there's a long way to go here in this race.
Pete Bicknell trying to advance forward, has not been able to do it since that contact with Susi. He fell back to fifth. Susi's down in sixth. By my calculations, as they run unofficially, Lindbergh would be champion as they run. Lindbergh doing everything he possibly needs to do, leading this race, driving away from Luke Carlton. Meanwhile, Scott Wood, after bringing out the first caution of the race, is up to fourth and looking for more around the outside of the 18 of Brad Rouse. And here comes Ryan Susi, who also needs to get back up inside the top four if he wants a shot at this title.
As they near the halfway mark, Gary Lindbergh is still out in front. However, he might be encountering some lap traffic. One of them, I believe, Van Mill, took it into the pits. Hopefully he's all right there. Half a straightaway lead over Carlton as he has got there. Coming up on the halfway mark. Boy, he's really going inside, Gary Lindbergh is, as we go to the halfway mark. And we do have a yellow flag.
Caution is out. Flanagan has shredded the left rear on that 74 machine, and we are under yellow at the halfway point in this one. 25 in, 25 to go. And we'll see. Rouse and Pete Bicknell are also fighting, having a war of words here. And Ryan Susi laying back saying, I got a bone to pick with you too. No shortage of drama tonight in the John Spencer Memorial so far. Gary Lindbergh is out front. He came into tonight trailing by 10 points. He would currently lead the standings by 12, according to my math. Coming back to green, it's Lindbergh, Carlton. Great start from Gary Lindbergh as he hits it as soon as he touches the clock. Now Carlton and Wood are leaning on each other for second. Nail-biting moments, anxious moments throughout the field. Lindbergh leads, Carlton, Wood, Rouse, Bicknell, and Susie. Around the outside, Scott Wood trying to take second away from Luke Carlton and maybe even more. This could really throw a wrench into things if Scott Wood can drive up there and take the lead from Lindbergh. Into 3 and 4. 37S of Lindbergh down low. Up on the high side, it's the 38 of Wood. Here comes Scott Wood, the Henderson's Pharma Save, 38 to the front of this machine, of this race in that 38 machine, driving away from Gary Lindbergh. Now what will happen in the championship? Lindbergh needs to fight back on the inside, but Luke Carlton, Brad Rouse, Pete Bicknell, and Ryan Susie are all right there and looking for more.
28 laps down, 22 to go. Scott Wood used that outside line to his advantage as he took that lead away from Lindbergh. However, Lindbergh is still committed to that inside line to try to catch back that lead. 26 of Luke Carlton got a good ride from him so far. Solid performance. He's there in third. Brad Rouse in the fourth. Bicknell in fourth. And Susie in sixth. And his teammate Dalton Slack getting himself into the mix right beside him. 30 laps in at 20 to go. Scott Wood, your leader.
No team orders tonight. No favors from his teammate. The 3RS of Dalton Slack driving around Ryan Susie, who needs every position he can possibly get if he wants to hang on to the championship. Lindbergh sits in second. His best option is to win the race, but from where he is currently running, I believe he has the advantage in the points, even running in second. It's Wood, Lindbergh, Carlton, Rouse, Bicknell, your top five. Slack in sixth, Susie in seventh, and falling back from the lead pack is Ryan Susie, who may have hurt that car leaning on Pete Bicknell as hard as those two did earlier in this race.
Coming up on 33 laps in, 17 to go. Scott Wood is now flying down that track. He is opening up a pretty good lead over that 37S of Lindbergh. 26 of Luke Carlton still hanging in there. He is third. Side by side between Bicknell and Rouse for that third spot. Currently being occupied by Bicknell, but Brad Rouse is right there with him, including that 3S of Dalton Slack. He's getting himself in the mix as well. 16 to go. It is Scott Wood still out in front.
Dalton Slack's got himself a piece tonight. He's driving around the outside. Brad Rouse hangs it out a little sideways. Bicknell should clear the 18 here up in front. He'll do so. And Dalton Slack trying to use the outside now to get around Rouse as well as the 3RS is moving. Give a call to Dalton Slack, another driver up in here that's mixing things up in the points battle. As they run, Scott Wood is out front. Gary Lindbergh running in second. Carlton third, Bicknell fourth, Slack fifth, Rouse sixth, and Susie is seventh.
With 13 laps to go, Scott Wood still maintaining his lead. However, he is going to be encountering some lap traffic there, that being the Too Cool of Van Mill. So he does have to be careful there in order to maintain his lead. Gary Lindbergh still holding strong there in the second. 26 of Luke Carlton still consistent there. He's holding on in the third, side by side between Bicknell and Slack for that fourth spot. 12 laps to go. Scott Wood still out in front.
Ryan Susie trying to battle there with Brad Rouse. That position really matters because as they run, Gary Lindbergh is up by 2 points. That's one position through third through the rest of the field over Ryan Susie. If Susie can get that spot, it'll be back to a tie. The advantage at the front of the field. Scott Wood out by 1.2 seconds over Lindbergh. Lap traffic starting to be a factor as we have got 10 laps to go, coming to 9 laps to go for our leader, Scott Wood.
Less than 10 laps to go. Scott Wood still maintaining his lead, doing the best he can to be careful to maintain that lap traffic, trying to pass them as best he can. Gary Lindbergh still holding on into a second spot. He's trying to be careful with that lap traffic also, as he with the championship still on the line. Luke Carlton still in third, Dalton Slack in fourth. Actually, he just moved on up into third. Coming up on 8 laps to go, Scott Wood still maintaining his lead, but look out for Gary Lindbergh. He's still trying to get to that lead.
If Lindbergh can get back to the lead, it really puts a squeeze on Ryan Susie. But as they run right now, Susie will be back into a tie with Gary Lindbergh after getting around the 18 machine of Brad Rouse. It will be a tie in points as they run. Lindbergh needs to go find another position because if Susie does, he is champion.
Coming up on 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. He's going to pass the number 73 out there. He maintains his lead. Gary Lindbergh still maintaining that second place spot. Luke Carlton in third. Dalton Slack in fourth. 4 laps to go. It is still Scott Wood, your leader. Gary Lindbergh still maintaining that second spot.
Dalton Slack trying to clear Luke Carlton for third. He'll do so. It's Scott Wood out front. Gary Lindbergh, Dalton Slack, Luke Carlton, Pete Bicknell, and Ryan Susie. Susie can win the title outright if he can find a way around Bicknell. Lindbergh wins the title if he gets back to the lead as they run. 3 laps to go in the championship fight. As they run, my math unofficially calculates a tie between Lindbergh and Susie. Wood has a serious advantage over Lindbergh. With 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag. Scott Wood out front, trying to put his name on the John Spencer Memorial. Gary Lindbergh slides up in front of the 74. A little bit of contact with a lap car. That could have been devastating. Meanwhile, Ryan Susie on the tail of Pete Bicknell for the championship. Into 3 and 4, out of 3 and 4. Scott Wood wins the race. Gary Lindbergh will bring it home second. Susie needs this position to win it outright. Dalton Slack third, Luke Carlton fourth, Pete Bicknell fifth, and Ryan Susie brings it home sixth. Unofficially, as they are scored now, it should be a tie in points. Give a call to the race winner, Scott Wood. Scott, come on around here. It's a good thing they make these things 50 laps. Talk to me. Did you think that you could be here in Victory Lane when you were parked up on the high side of turn 2 early in this one?
No, to be honest, we had horrible brakes in heat. I apologize to Gary there. We had no rear brakes. Just pounded him in the back. And then we fought the car all night. And then, again, same thing in the feature. I got in the back of Fred. He knocked me off top of the track. And then I just dug in and said, we're going for it. So here we are.
Who do you want to thank for the drive and the return to Victory Lane here tonight?
Oh, all my sponsors have been with us for so long. Henderson's Pharmacy, Niagara Trailers, North End Collision, Fairvani Custom Engines, but it's a Wagner there tonight. But what am I missing? Niagara Outdoors, Mom and Dad, my crew, Phil, all the guys that help us out. You know, it's just, I'm a little overwhelmed right now.
Well, congratulations. Soak it in. You're the winner tonight on STEMINEX ESO night of the John Spencer Memorial. Let's head on down and start to catch up with co-champions. Ryan Susie in the 38 RS, Gary Lindbergh in the 37S are the co-champions of the 358 Modifieds. Ryan, talk to us about a very hard-fought drive, the valiant effort to get back by Brad Rouse. Were you aware that you needed that spot from Rouse to get back into the championship tie?
Well, yeah, me and Pete were slugging it out there. I don't know if I don't know what I did to tick him off, but he drove me pretty hard for a while and banged the car up, and then after that, it just kind of went away. Gary and Andrew and these guys, they worked hard all year. I know they've had a lot of ups and downs this season. Congrats to them, and big congrats to Scott Wood there. I mean, he kind of saved my butt with him getting the W there, but co-champions, it's no fun for me or Gary. I'm sure we both want to win, but at the same time, I guess it's better than second. So congrats to Scott and Gary and everybody that just got to thank Randy Slack, Transport Sales and Service, Bicknell Racing Products, Integra Shocks, all our great sponsors that help us out. Pretty pumped up, but at the same time a little disappointed. I wish we could have sealed the deal ourselves, but our crew did a great job this year. Tyler and Andrew and Travis, my wife Toby, everybody that's helped us out, and I know I said it a bunch, but Randy Slack and everybody in the Slack family for believing in us and allowing us to do this. So thanks to Don Speece and everybody here at Merrittville too. It was an awesome season. We're really glad to be back.
Awesome job, Ryan Susie, co-champion of the Core Pack Merchandising 358 Modifieds, and his co-champion. Let's catch up with Gary Lindbergh. Brings it home second in the race. A race is a 10-point deficit to tie for the championship. Gary, talk to us about the drive tonight and what it means to be co-champion with someone like Ryan Susi after what has been a hard-fought battle all year long for you guys in the modifieds.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool to be co-champion. I didn't even know. I thought he finished third. I pulled up to him under that red there, and I was going like this, like we're back and forth. He passed me, I passed him, he passed me. It was just kind of who got to the front first, and then the other 38 come out of nowhere and blew my doors off, so we didn't really have anything for him, but I was trying everything I had. Couldn't keep up to him.
Who do you want to thank for a great season, the co-champion at Merrittville Speedway in 2022?
I want to thank all the sponsors, especially Andrew Sittler, he owns the car, the crew, John Bevan, Gaskins Auto Sales, CSR Racing Engines. The motor had to come out Monday. We had a bad lifter, fixed it up, got it back together, and got it back to us Thursday. Can't do that with a Wagner, that's for sure. KR, Rona Fort Erie, Rona Welland, Trent, Zach, Krista, everybody else that helped. It's automotive. Hope I didn't miss anything.
Congratulations, Gary Lindbergh, co-champion. Once again, Ryan Susi, Gary Lindbergh, co-champions here at Merrittville Speedway. What a John Spencer memorial to remember here tonight in the 71st season finale.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GForceTV. GForceTV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.